Is that the horse Tom wants me to get on? No f***ing way. That's a big horse. Well, you can use that bit. We're out here on this lovely spring morning. I'm going to cook you a seafood feast, bit of surf and turf, all flame grilled in the Gozney dome. So we're going to start things off with some wind-dried sausage. This is a dome fried rice or crab fried rice, but I don't like calling things fried rice because I don't want to get trolled by Uncle Roger for doing it wrong. You can use leftovers. Today we're doing a fried rice. We're just going to mix some white crab meat in at the end. Just throw that into the pan. This will release all the fat. That smells so good. Yeah, all that lovely fat rendering out, and this is going to be the lubricant for the dish. Just going to add some little bit of onion. Turn that back in. I like to use the whites of the spring onion to cook, and then I finish off with the green. Give it 30 seconds, and the onion will cook really nicely, and then I can pull it out. A little bit of garlic, touch of chili, touch of ginger. Yeah, lovely. I always end up making too much rice, intentionally or not intentionally, but that does come in handy because the next day I'm always craving a bit of fried rice. And fried rice doesn't have to be complicated. It can be fried rice with just some egg. Fried egg on top, a bit of chili crisp. Perfect. Whilst the rice is heating up, I want that to catch a little bit of flame. Oh, not that much flame. That's not a technique I advocate. So I use my dome at home as much for cooking steaks and burgers and things like fried rice. So this recipe works brilliant with gas as well. In the dome, the arc, or the rock box. So the cabbage is just starting to catch a bit now. Rice is nice and hot. Add a touch of soy sauce. Just a dash of fish sauce. I wish you could smell this. Bit of MSG, bit of white pepper, bit of sugar. Just a little bit of coriander. Some crispy onions, spring onions. Squeeze of lime. I'm just adding the crab now, nice generous amount. Got these tiny white shrimp. We just dry them out in the oven. They've got a lovely salty sweetness to them. Also adds a nice texture. And then we've got some lovely puffy pig skin on the side. This is the pig skin we deep fried earlier in the dome. Just whacked a pan full of oil in the dome, got it to like 220 degrees, and then puffed the dehydrated pig skin up in that. I think maybe just one more squeeze of lime. That is crab fried rice with crispy pig skin. Right, so we're going to do a flatbread, which is an ode to one of my favourite chefs ever. It's an iconic dish at his restaurant, Quo Vadis, and it's the smoked deal sandwich. But we're going to do a flatbread version of it, and I'm going to add a bit of bacon. So we're not going to do a carbon copy, but it's a tribute to Jeremy Lee. So I'm going to start with making some horseradish. You can buy horseradish from a deli in a jar if you want. Probably a better idea if you don't want to go through the trauma of it. Let's just give it a little peel. I'm glad we're doing this outside, because if you're doing this inside, it's going to make you cry. So you basically peel and grate the horseradish. This is potent stuff. Jesus Christ. It makes you want to just get it done as quickly as possible. Christ alive. That is strong. So we're just going to add a little bit of creme fraiche and squeeze a lemon. Watching out for the pips. Once the creme fraiche has been mixed into the horseradish, it loses all that eye-watering aroma, vapour. Smoked eel, we obviously don't need this much, but this is how you break it. It's quite a satisfying thing to prep. Just take the head off from behind the gills, and then you want to follow the spine down. You can feel all the bones. And then this should peel off nicely. The skin's great, you chuck it in stock, gives it a nice smoky element and all that lovely fat there. So we just want some nice small bits to cover the flatbread. So we're going to pat out the flatbread, just pinch the edges to make a nice round ball, touch of flour on the top, and then we go. So Jeremy Lee's version is toasted, well, it's fried sourdough with lots of horseradish and smoked eel in a sandwich. It's a dainty sandwich, it's not a big doorstep, it's, you know, 2 fingers wide, so high. Well, there are red onions on the side. It's just the perfect bite of food. And I thought it would translate really well onto a flatbread. And I called him to ask him if he wouldn't mind as well, so I wanted to make sure. And he was very happy. But if you haven't been to Quo Vadis for an eel sandwich, get down to Quo Vadis and get an eel sandwich. So as I said, this dough isn't as robust as a pizza dough that's been heavily kneaded. We do all of this by hand, there's no machines involved. So the gluten isn't as activated as a pizza dough. So a little bit of lubrication, so a little bit of butter to anchor the ingredients onto the bread. I find if you don't put something down, the ingredients can sometimes just roll off. So this is blanched bacon lardons, because eel and bacon is a fantastic combination too. And then pieces of smoked eel. Be generous with the eel as well. The flavour is very smoky, but it's light smoke. Once it's had a bit of heat, a very, very yielding texture, which is nice in contrast to the bacon, which is a little bit toothsome, but in that pleasing way. There we go. You don't want to cook this bread too fast because you want the bacon to cook all the way through. So it's not like a 30-second in and out Neapolitan style. Lovely bit of kit. Oh mate, it smells incredible. So now we're going to get our horseradish, pop a tiny blob, crunch of black pepper, some red onion, and just to make it a little bit fancy but also lends a nice citrusy note, lovely lemon flavour. There's a little bit of wood sorrel. Now I could lie and say I foraged this from this beautiful field, but I got it from my supply. But this is smoked eel and bacon flatbread with horseradish and pickled red onions, and it's my ode to Jeremy Lee. So now we're going to make a trout roe, furikake and hot butter flatbread. And this is probably one of the quickest flatbread recipes you'll ever see. So more butter, and this is just for flavour and helps the bread kind of light fry under the flame. Oh, I love watching those little bubbles come up. Lovely. I like a full spectrum of colour when I'm cooking flatbreads at the restaurant or anywhere else. All these little pockets, these little charred bits, that's different texture, different flavour. If you're going to do this, you might as well treat yourself. Be opulent with this. Just slather it all over. It's extravagant, but it's good to be indulgent every now and again. This is furikake. This has actually got chicken powder in it. Very, very tasty. Little bits of seaweed, some sesame. You can get this from most Asian supermarkets, but online, just for a bit of extra richness and indulgence, you want to put an egg yolk in the middle. And now loads of melted butter. And that is the trout roe flatbread with furikake and hot butter. We're going to do one more dish. This is quite a quick one. Once you've made the butter and cut the shrimps up, it takes about a minute to put together. So we'll start by making the butter. This is wild garlic. I'd like to say I foraged it myself, but I didn't. Before, when I first started cooking, if you wanted to get wild garlic, you had to get a forager to go and get it, or go out yourself. Nowadays, you can get it from most good veg suppliers. Wherever there's garlic, I like to try and put a little bit of parsley in as well. We're gonna blend all these herbs with the butter and a pinch of salt. Here we go. That's not bad. It's got a nice greeny colour. I'm just gonna transfer this into a pot, and then we'll get onto the shrimps. So I'm gonna butterfly these prawns. The first time I did this dish was because I was unorganised at home. I had people coming over and I needed something quick to feed them straight away. So I butterflied some prawns. I put them in a skillet and I whacked them under a high flame in the dome. This is a bit of salt and then whack it straight in. This is going to be good. I mean, this is one of the simplest recipes, and it's a people pleaser, and it keeps people occupied because you have to really spend a bit of time picking the meat out, licking your fingers, dealing with all the shells. This is a good way to start if you're like me, usually disorganised. Gives you the opportunity to catch up. Got the sort of thing people have to dig in, use their fingers. You can just mince up some garlic on the microplane, mix it in with some olive oil, and just pour it all over the top. That smells so good, that butter. Are you ready? And then just pour this all over. Looks pretty good though. I like to put a little bit of chili flake on, again, optional, up to you. And then that's simple, decadent and delicious. So I want to put a few of these little poncy flowers on top as well. That's flame baked prawns with wild garlic and parsley butter. Come and grab a bite. You don't have to use the dome just to cook pizzas. There's so many other versatile things you can use it for.
Mate, that garlic is on point, isn't it?
Yeah, look at that.
Oh, God.
Anyone can do this. Anybody can do this at home. You don't need any skill. You just need the right ingredients and a dome.
Who wants a bite?
Or a rock box, or an arc.
Put it up into high and then that's accelerate.